Go, 3, 2, 1, go!
Ah! I'm Mario. I'm gonna jump into walls and stuff until I can find one that's a painting.
And I'm Luigi. I will forever be forever be out of reach. I am the Enigma. I am the Alpha, the Omega.
Did you know that if you jump into a waterfall 600 times, Luigi jumps out and he's like, "You still can't play as me."
You can't play
Fuck
as
you.
me.
I am the.
But now you can play as Sonic and Tails in Smash Brothers. Plug in your cartridge, do a stop and swap, hot swap your cartridge.
Oh God, Mario, use your 1 star. You're gonna get it.
That's called commerce.
What door is this?
That's called the free market.
Oh, it's the Skyland. That's what they call it.
The inspiration for the 2008 video game.
It's Swamp's Fortress.
Luke Skywalker.
Is it bad that I misread that 1 as a 2? It looks
no,
like,
actually,
it looks like a thin 2.
It looks like a very slender 2.
Like a slender, italicized 2. Okay, I'm glad I'm not crazy on that one. That's misleading. Hello, Cate here, bros. Cutting in with a live update on Mario's progress. He's about to suck 20 dicks to get to the top of this tower.
I gotta actually say, I forgot about this until recently. I always, as a kid, wanted a game where you played as the Lakitu camera crew. I wanted...
That'd be so cool.
Yeah, like, I don't know. The only thing I can think of now is Michigan Report from Hell, which I'm certain was not my image of the game as a child.
Lakitu's reporting on like some horrifying natural disaster in the Mushroom Kingdom.
Really bad voice acting.
I'm not gonna lie, I would definitely play that game. No, let me...
Lakitu Report from Hell.
You know what it says a lot, actually, about, like, Nintendo's... Like, they're really fucking good with controls. Because, like, I just instinctively knew that A and Z is a ground pound. I just knew that.
Oh yeah, well, because they
use the same like design language throughout the entire generation. So you already know how to play it. It's fine.
It's really smart.
Oh, dude, look! Did you see that?
What?
You see that shit? What? When Mario was going up an incline, he was slower. That's called his de facto speed.
Cate, I swear to God.
Did you know that?
Cate.
I'm just assuming I'm going to be going to the top here.
There's a time and a place.
Yeah, and the time is all the time, and I'm gonna be.
I'm surprised that was our first Pan and Koenig reference.
Yeah, we went through a whole first episode without doing that. I'm gonna be real quiet. I always
don't wake up. This also really scared me as a kid.
What? It's fucking terrifying.
I want to go through our videos and compile a list of things that I have admitted to scaring me as a kid, like, on our show, and see what the number is.
Probably a lot. I mean, like, I think I've done the same.
Can
I please go behind the... Okay, thank you. Ooh, look at that seam in the geometry. Isn't that nice? Isn't that pretty? It's good.
You ever think about how fucked up, like, geometry would work in the real world? Like if
everything was actually like polygons.
Yeah, and if shit got
it would be
fucked
horrible.
up. Yeah.
It would be a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do, huh? You gonna fucking...
Wow.
I don't think so. Oh.
Also,
wait,
they're
you could just get coins by jumping on them? That's interesting.
Yeah. Also, they're very thrifty with like sound design and stuff like that. And like
well, they
the
have
Mario
to be
Party
in
games.
this era.
Yeah.
Like I was learning stuff about Banjo-Kazooie from oh hey,
you did it.
We've got a 1-up and a short. Never mind.
What about Banjo? Tell me about Banjo.
Yeah, because it was in the. Did you ever watch the Game Grumps where they had Grant Kirkhope?
No, I never did.
It's great, and he talks a lot about how like a lot of sound effects in Banjo-Kazooie are basically just like other sound effects from the game slowed down or sped up.
Oh,
it's really interesting.
So
I love
it's like
learning little
saving
stuff about
memory
that.
on the cartridge.
Yes, because they had very strict cartridge limitations. And I was talking about this in like our Discord chat thing.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. It's almost a very like, oh man, like games used to be so much better comment, but it's not. That's not how I mean it. Like,
that's actually a really good point, Womp.
What? I wasn't.
We pave your roads, we build your castles, and still you walk all over.
That's it. Wow. There's some like systemic disadvantages here that I hadn't considered. Man, the Mushroom Kingdom, all is not well.
No, it's not. So, alright, what is this Discord thing?
Dude. Anyway, I was talking about this in the Discord chat, because like E3 was just this past week, so we were all talking about video games.
Like you do.
Yeah, like we do. And I was thinking, wow, his shadow is just amazing. Okay.
Great square.
What was I saying? So
E3 video games.
E3 video games. Okay, so like I think because I mean, it seems to be changing, which is really nice. But for a very long time, especially for like the okay. Guess I'm just down here now. Like for a while, especially in the last generation, like the 360, PS3, that kind of thing. Like there was this huge push for gritty, dark realism.
Yes.
And
very much so.
And it's interesting to think about like realism as the goal because like in games like this, that was not really an option. Like you had to dedicate yourself to an art style, to something else because the technology just wasn't there to do something that looked realistic. And I think they provided for more memorable games because I mean like you can think about like all these fucking like piles and piles of realistic games.
Right.
And they all look just about the same. But you think about a game like this and like sure the art style like parts of it definitely look really dated.
Yeah.
But it still like is very much its own thing.
Yeah, and you
know?
can recognize it instantly. It's
and I think like it's the thing that limitations make you find creative solutions. And because of that you end up with something more memorable.
Yeah.
So now when game developers like especially AAA game developers have basically no limits, like they can just do whatever the fuck they want. A lot of them have chosen to just sort of go the easy way and just build like a realistic environment. And like sure that's not easy. Nothing about making a game is easy.
Ghost Toad.
But that's why like a lot of indie games end up being more memorable than a lot of AAA games because they don't have the budgets to do something huge. They pretty much have to work with something that they can create.
Yeah.
You know? They have to work within their limitations, and because of that, they end up with something better.
It's funny that you bring that up because I was listening to a podcast talking about.
Oh shit, God!
I was listening to Into It with Elle Collins, which is also really good.
Ooh, I've never heard of that one.
It's pretty much a show where she interviews different people every week, and they just talk about something that person is like really obsessed with or into.
That's cool.
So that episode was about Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and they were talking about like the same kind of thing. Is that with season 6, I think it was, Buffy got moved to UPN.
Oh yeah.
And so they like all of their limits were taken away. Like they could get away with a lot crazier stuff. And the analogy was used that like in cooking competitions where like, you know, if it's like, all right, for this you need to use like this shitty mushroom and like styrofoam and like, oh god, how could I do this? And then they come up with some like really great looking stuff.
Yeah.
And then like if there's a round later where it's like, all right, you can just make whatever you want, people choke.
Yeah, exactly. You actually see it a lot on Cut Through Kitchen. That like when a lot of times when somebody goes into a round with zero sabotage. Wait, what was the name of this fucking thing? To the top of the. Didn't I just do this? Okay, whatever. Where like when people go in with zero sabotages and their other teammates are fucked up, they get complacent and they end up messing up in like dumber, like more technical ways. It's really interesting.
Yeah. And like I feel that, you know, I would really prefer that because the one thing
I felt really good doing that.
That was a good jump.
That felt great.
The one thing I've noticed, you know, about comparing video games back then to now is that because video games are so much more of a mainstream thing, there is so much less risk like because back then, like, if you look at the Nintendo 64's library, or, like, the PS2's library, like, there was a whole bunch of weird shit, but it had budget.
Yeah.
And you don't really see that a lot these days.
Yeah, a lot of times the weird shit is like, okay, well, you can start your Kickstarter, I guess.
Well, yeah, because a company doesn't want to take a risk, and it makes sense. It sucks, but it makes sense.
It does. And honestly, I feel like Kickstarter has, like, provided an avenue for more... Like, it's I don't know. It's hard to put things in terms like that are so nebulous as like more creativity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like you feel it because it's just like it's not just some game produced by like a large company where tons and tons of people were working on it. Like there's like a soul to it because whoever made it really cared about it and really wanted to make it. Yeah, like they wanted to make that game more than anything else, and they did it.
That's with like you can make the case that like with pretty much any work of art, and that very much includes this, is that like, you know, video games, is that you can tell when somebody's put their love into it. Like we can just tell right away if this is a soulless piece of shit or like something like.
Well, that's one of the huge problems with the new Super Mario Brothers series. It feels like nobody. It feels very like
by the numbers.
Yeah, exactly. Like it feels like something that at no point did anybody really just like feel super passionate about it.
Yeah.
Like maybe the first new Super Mario Brothers, sure, because it was like it was like a faithful like recreation of like what that first game would be if there. I don't want to do a water level. Of like what that first game would be if they had the technology that they had today.
Yeah.
And that's really interesting. But everything after that really felt like it's fair to say that it felt like a level creator because they made one later.
They did, yeah. It was just literally that tool.
Yeah, and not that that's a bad thing because those certainly are like they are good games, but they don't feel.
Jump in that middle portrait.
Okay.
Or that left portrait.
A surprise!
Did you not know about this?
I knew about it. I just forgot where it was. Oh yeah, this is fun.
Yeah, I don't know like what buttons to put on the video game discourse, but like it's.
I don't know. I mean, like it's interesting because like we are seeing sort of a resurgence of creator-driven stuff, especially when you look at like I don't know, Dark Souls or like or even like the huge applause that Kojima got when he came back.
Oh my god, he got like a wrestler intro.
He got a wrestling intro after like a long time of just like being basically just shit on by Konami.
Yeah.
And like I think it's really interesting that we're seeing a big return to that.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I just think it's really interesting, and I like thinking about video games and like the business of it, but also like, because I mean, any kind of like, any kind of art that becomes like a business thing is sort of a weird thing to think about because you don't.
It impacts it.
It impacts
it absolutely
hugely.
impacts it.
I mean, like you can even see that on like YouTube channels that start small and get bigger. Like, and it's not that they become bad or anything. A snowy level.
Yeah, it's just you can tell when there's like big profits involved, and it's
exactly
like,
you can feel when there's a show.
It isn't a passion project.
Exactly, it's not like their little thing anymore. Like it's grown into something, and that's amazing. Yeah. Like that's impressive that they were able to do that. At the same time, like it does lose a little bit of its edge.
Yeah.
But it's not that becoming something different is a bad thing.
Hey, it's my son.
What?
It's my son. Don't talk to him.
Oh my god, he's so small. Oh my god. I don't know. Video games. I really like video games.
Do you?
Yeah, I'm gonna go in here.
Have fun.
Oh, is there another one of these? Whoa!
Yeah, you know when you just keep like a slide in your house?
I love. Yeah, fuck. Is that a shortcut? Is that a shortcut? Is that a shortcut?
It's a shortcut to your grave.
Is that a shortcut? Fuck it.
Mamma mia.
Mamma mia!
Tune in to the next episode of Video Games where we'll have more video games for you. Plenty of video games.
I'd like to formally apologize to anyone using headphones.
I'd like to formally apologize to everybody using headphones too. It's really unfortunate that you had to choose to make headphones happen that way.
Is it unfortunate?
It is. It's very.
Where are you going with this?
I'm just saying that if you use headphones,
You
just imagine our
right
faces.
Up to the mic like
imagine
a little
our
bug,
faces.
like a tiny
our breath
bug.
upon you.
Crying out for attention as it just screams, I am important, but really all we hear is like, and that's it.